Hello everybody! In today's video, we're going to take a look at the differences and similarities between IELTS and TOEFL. Would you like to know? I often get questions from students about the IELTS versus the TOEFL. Which one should you take? Which one would be easier for you to be successful with? Well, in this video today, we're going to compare the IELTS and TOEFL. Hi, I'm Jerry with Global Connection ESL. I'm so glad you joined in this video today. By the way, would you go ahead and like this video? Go ahead and click down below and hit the notification bell. When you do that, it will let you know when I make new videos. And I try to make new videos every week. I hope they will help you. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in and talk about the similarities and differences between IELTS and TOEFL. So when we talk about IELTS and TOEFL, I want you to know that both tests are a test of your English proficiency. How well can you use the English language? Both tests will check your listening, your speaking, your reading, and your writing skills. Both tests need to see if you are competent enough to use English to perhaps enter a university or to move to that country. But there are many differences. First of all, you might already know that IELTS is a British test and TOEFL is an American test. The British Council gets credit for the IELTS test and ETS gets credit for the TOEFL test. When you go to take the IELTS test, then you will take the test with pencil and paper. That's a bit different than the TOEFL test. When you take the TOEFL test, you're going to take this test on a computer. The TOEFL test, the most common form of the TOEFL test now is the IBT. This is the internet-based test. And so the TOEFL IBT is completely on a computer. So you might wonder about the speaking part of the test. How do I speak English with IELTS versus TOEFL? Well, when you take the IELTS, you will be speaking to a human being. The IELTS examiner will sit across the table from you and talk to you, asking you questions, and you will speak to a human person. TOEFL, on the other hand, you will not be speaking to a person. You will be speaking into the computer using a mic. And your speaking will be evaluated later by a person, but you will record your voice in response to questions and make that recording to submit into the computer. That's a big difference. So, do you know how IELTS and TOEFL are scored? Are they the same? Well, both tests will measure your English speaking, listening, reading, and writing abilities, but they are not scored the same. IELTS will measure you on band scores from 0 to 9. 9 is the highest level and the most fluent English user. 0 is the very beginning, basic level, no use of English. And many students will start at 5, 5.5, 6. If you get a 6.5, that's acceptable to enter many universities. You probably want to have a 7 or 7.5 to be strong enough to handle those university studies. TOEFL, on the other hand, is measured on a scale 0 to 120 points. Each of the 4 sections, listening, speaking, reading, writing, each count for 30 points in the TOEFL test. And some universities expect you to have a minimum subscore for each of these skills. So you might need to have a minimum of 16, 16, 16, and 16 to be accepted. Or 18, 18, 18, 18. It depends on the university. But that score, perhaps if you get a 60, that's about the minimum you would need to enter a university in most places. I would recommend a higher score than 60 to be able to handle university level studies. And so the question that I hear is, which one should I take, IELTS or TOEFL? Well, the answer really depends on you. There are some questions you need to ask yourself in order to decide which test is better for you. The first step is to check with the university you intend to apply to. Will they accept both tests? And most universities do accept both TOEFL and IELTS. Also, ask yourself how you manage with tests. Are you good at paper and pencil and handwriting? Are you good at typing on a computer? What about for the speaking? Are you okay speaking to a human where you don't feel too nervous, you feel comfortable? One of the benefits of speaking to a human is that you can see the facial expressions and the nonverbal cues, and sometimes that might help. You won't get any nonverbal cues from a computer necessarily, no feedback. Maybe you feel less nervous if you are speaking to a computer, so perhaps TOEFL is better for you. Whichever is better, if you choose TOEFL, I recommend that you become good at typing with your fingers on a computer keyboard. Both tests can help you to be successful for your future, but which one is better for you really depends on you. So that's just a brief overview of some of the differences between IELTS and TOEFL. I hope that was helpful for you. If you look specifically at both tests, you will find some more small differences in the questions and how they are measured. For example, in IELTS, you often find true, false, not given, but there are no not given questions on TOEFL. That's a difference that you might feel will help you. Was this video helpful for you? If you'd like to know more about the differences between IELTS and TOEFL, please let me know. Leave a comment below. Ask your question or leave a comment, and I will be sure to answer it. Also, would you please share this video with your friends? I believe that studying together with friends and helping each other is a great way to hold yourself strong to reaching for your dreams. Thanks so much for sharing, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Have a great day. If you are planning to study abroad, then you should check out these videos about tips for living abroad in a foreign country. And I hope you'll check out the other resources on this channel for learning English and learning more about IELTS. Thanks so much.